Welcome everybody back to Rob's MetalWorks. We are at the beginning of December and we're ending out our programming for 2024, our 33rd interview of the year. And we're ending out in a very special way, bringing to you the first promoter in the San Antonio metal scene that we've ever interviewed, a man who is endeared by many in our scene, a man who is my dear friend and someone who I've connected with on so many levels. And one of those levels is what we do for the San Antonio metal scene. And brings me great pleasure to welcome Mr. Julian Cruz of JC Productions. How are you doing, Julian?
Rob, I'm doing well. I'm getting emotional right now, man. You know.
Not yet. Man. Oh man, we've been talking about this night for a long time, and I remember when we began talking about interviewing, I thought it was a great idea. I want to do it, and that's why I told you, hey, Julian, would you want to interview with us? And it's important because, like I said, I've never interviewed a promoter. However, I think over the years, Rob's has also become kind of like a historian, and it would be a sin and a shame not to talk about you as you kind of move out of what you're doing in our scene, because you have been a very prominent, not only a prominent player, but someone that, like I said, people endear and respect. And, you know, if you're gone, people are going to know you're gone. So it's, you know, I thought, man, I got to talk to this guy. And, you know, like I said, yes, you're my dear friend and I love you very much. And, you know, you deserve the opportunity. And it was a little easier because I'm like, Julian, you know, has also been a musician in our scene.
He would sing. He
Yeah.
was a singer.
Yeah. And you still sing. And we're going to talk about that. So as we begin, you know, it's always important for me, you know, especially as a San Antonio show and people who are from our scene, who are born of the cloth of San Antonio metal. That's where I kind of want to start with you. So tell me, and I'm very familiar with all parts of our city. So tell me, and the people, you're originally from San Antonio, and what high school did you go to?
Went to Roosevelt High School, man.
Oh, wow.
Northeast side. I know.
Walsham? Is that Walsham?
Walsham Road, brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a big school, though. I mean, it is.
Well, yeah. Well, when I was there, it was, you know, but now, yeah.
It's big,
it's gotten big, you know.
Wow. So. Okay. That's interesting, you know, because I've always touted, you know, all the metalheads live in South Side, San Antonio,
Yeah.
South. Yeah. But, you know, of course, there's metalheads and musicians all over our city. Okay, so that's important to know. I'm familiar with that area. Was it there at Roosevelt that you got into heavy music, or did someone turn you on to something? And
honestly, it happened in middle school, man. I went to Kruger Middle School.
What the fuck? Yeah. Middle school.
In middle school, but you know, hanging out with the people back then in Kruger, bro. That got me into the metal scene. I was listening to Korn, Limp Bizkit, the new metal.
Korn and Limp Bizkit.
That's what was coming up.
Wow.
During that, you know, late 90s.
I'm not going to ask you how old you are. I know you're younger, significantly younger than I am. But, yeah, for you to say I was jamming to Korn like in 7th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when Korn came out. I was not in the 7th grade. But, yeah, that's cool. So, Korn.
You know, the Limp Bizkit,
yeah.
Yes.
Dude, I still jam Limp Bizkit, bro.
Oh, yeah, fuck. Dude. Come on, man. The Nookie.
Yeah.
Come on.
A lot of good songs, man. You know what? Let me tell you a quick story. I hadn't jammed to Limp Bizkit in a long time. And then when I interviewed West Creek, when they came to my house.
With Rocco?
Rocco said, dude, let me put on this shit. And I was like, what? He goes, just let me put it on, Rob. I said, go ahead. And he put on some fucking Limp Bizkit. And it was a song that it's not like mainstream, but it was so heavy and cool. And I was like, damn, dude, that's Limp Bizkit.
It took you back, bro.
It took me back. You just forget. Okay, so band, like, it was kind of like the new metal thing.
Mm-hmm.
New metal. Yeah. So was that like early 90s?
It was late 90s, man. Getting
Late
into 2000s,
90s.
bro. Like, I was still in the whole hip-hop age, like, dealing with that. And then I got into the new metal, and that's when I was like, all right, man. Like, this is something good. This is something new.
This is me.
Exactly.
I got it. Yeah, that happened to me too. Yeah. You just fall in love with what's hot and what's in tune. So, okay, you went to Roosevelt, finished Roosevelt, started living life. Then you became a musician in the scene? And how did that happen?
So, the musician-wise, like me being a vocalist.
A singer,
came through high school. Okay. During that time, when I was in high school.
So you just started jamming with dudes who were...
Just started jamming with people, man. Like, getting,
But how did you know you wanted to be a singer? That's what I'm saying. Like, how did you get into that?
Oh, no, okay. Listen to the music I listened to, like Deftones and all that.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I would sing along.
Yeah.
Just...
You're like, I can pull it off.
I wouldn't say pull it off, but I can try. And then it came across to where I was like, you know what, dude? This is what I want to do. I know I can do it, you know? And really, really into poetry as well, like, writing, lyrics and stuff like that. So that's really got me more into like, you know what? I can do this, man. If I can write something and let it out, why not?
Sometimes I don't think about that because I'm not a musician, a vocalist especially. Like, traditionally, you would think like the singer writes most of the lyrics. He's singing them. But sometimes that's not true in other bands. But it is true in a lot of bands that the singer is also the lyricist. And, lyrics are very, very important.
Oh, yeah.
So that's cool for you to say that you were not only a singer, but a lyricist as well. So did you adopt, what kind of vocal style did you feel was your vocal style?
At one point, man, I was trying to do the Chino Deftones, the fucking the moaning bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Chino, like that. That's who I looked up to, and Jonathan Davis, of course, from Korn. Yeah. And getting that emotion, but vocally, I would watch YouTube videos, later on in years with like Killswitch Engage, Poison the Well, things like that, like more hardcore metalcore. And that's where I, kind of got that, like, you know what, this is the style I can kind of do, singing and screaming.
Were you familiar with the scene? Did you like know that there was bands playing at the White Rabbit and
Not until 2000, man. 2000 times when I got into high school is when I had friends from high school that would play on Thursday nights at the White Rabbit. They would play Thursday nights.
So you knew about the White Rabbit?
I knew about it, in 2000. That's when I first originated, like, oh, dude, like the scene. Yeah. And in 2000s, the 2000 times, there were friends of ours that would play in bands, and they would play Thursday nights at the White Rabbit. And we would go and check them out. And, it's like maybe like $5 or, to get in. But, we support. And that's where I met Kobe from Cerebral Desecration.
Really? Yeah.
Seeing his band. And it's just crazy of knowing that all the bands that originated are from the White Rabbit times.
From that era.
That era, exactly.
That era, yeah.
And to this day, like working with the guys now, some of the bands, it's like, dude, remember back in those days? But that was a time where it was like, you know what, this is where I need to be, and I want to know more about this scene.
And again, and nowadays, and many years later, they're booking shows with you. You have that relationship that I've keep emphasizing, and so there's a level of trust. Like, hey, if you're going to be our promoter at this show, I know you're going to do things right. You're going to take care of us. You're going to follow through on things that you say. Man, it's so cool that, people have long relationships. And it's kind of cool. I empathize because, I've interviewed dudes that I've interviewed, 10 years ago. And they're interviewing with me again 10 years later. It's so cool to already have, that relationship. Were there any singers in the scene when you were going to shows at the Rabbit that you said, oh, man, this dude's a badass singer?
Fred. from Medicine
Oh
Tongue.
my God.
Dude.
I can't believe you bring him up.
Dude, that guy, I'm going to tell you right now, man, like.
Oh, no.
I know.
Let's do it. Okay. Fred.
The first
from Medicine Tongue.
Yes,
and
dude.
Medicine Tongue, just for the historians, Medicine Tongue also bred a very renowned guitar player in Roman.
Yes, he
who
was,
plays with Wednesday 13.
Yes,
he was playing with Wednesday 13. I think he recently stopped to take care of some other life business. But for many, many years, he did he did like 4 or 5 records with Wednesday 13. That's all his stuff. He's one of our success stories from Medicine Tongue.
Definitely.
And
from the beginning,
yeah. One of the things we're going to talk about too is like how many bands have we seen come and go? How many promoters have we seen come and go? How many clubs have we seen come and go? So Medicine Tongue was a great band at that time. Yeah. So he was someone you like.
Yes. That was actually the first local like heavy hitter that I saw being in high school, being young, and seeing him. And
what was it? The voice or the performance?
Just everything, bro. Everything. The performance, his vocals, but also the way they promoted their band. Mm-hmm. It was like crazy. I mean, this is gonna sound crazy. It's totally crazy. They used to give out condoms with the Medicine Tongue logo on the condom, and that's where being in high school, and I'll be like, oh, okay,
yeah, I think
probably
I remember
use
that.
this, but man, I mean, and then meeting Fred, I mean, it just a huge.
So you got to know him
later on. We'll talk more about that later on. Yeah,
but you got to know him and be friends with him.
Yeah,
I knew him too, and I partied with him a few times. I never knew that he was suffering. Back at that time, the word mental wellness wasn't even around. But yeah, I mean, and then the next thing I know, like I heard that he fucking killed himself. I was like, what? It was crazy. It was a crazy time. Okay, so you got into the scene, and you're like, okay, I can sing. I want to sing. I got to be in a band. But what was it about that whole thing that kind of intrigued you, that attracted you to doing it? Was it being on stage? Was it being in the in crowd, in the scene? Was it, what was it?
It was more, being
being just creative. I'm artistic. I want to create.
I guess you would say, being noticed and being creative, and also using the fact that I can write how I feel,
right,
and let it out.
And that helps you.
It helped a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of bands that that's pretty much how it works. Like musically, it's being creative, but also letting out your emotions, and that's what really helped a lot.
You musician guys are very lucky, because like the rest of us, we just smoke weed and drink alcohol
and deal with the pain,
to let all that shit
deal
out.
with it. But
oh man,
it helped, man.
So you finally landed a gig in a real band. What was that first band? You told me about it earlier today, and I was like, who? What were they called?
The first band was called Enormity.
Enormity?
Enormity, yes. I had my good friend Chris, we call him Chris Mole.
Were you still in high school or out of high school?
Yes, still in high school.
Oh,
my boy Chris Mole, he was supposed to be here, man. Much love to you, man. Chris Mole.
Yeah, Chris,
now
where are you,
it's
dude?
Chris French. Yeah. But we were in a band called Enormity, man. He was a bass player, and that's where, in high school in 2002 to 2003, all the way up, that's where I started. Like, what, man? Being a vocalist and being like,
being in a band.
Yeah.
And did you know dudes in your school who play guitar and drums and shit?
It was honestly, it was kind of like by accident, man. You just found out, like, hey, you play guitar. Hey, you want to jam? Let's do it.
Yeah.
And then from there, it just became one high school of musicians, and then finding out there was other musicians in your district from other high schools, and you were like, dude, okay. Mm-hmm. It was one of those. It was just one of those, man.
So, what happened after Enormity? What was the next band?
Next band after that was the 11th Massacre.
What?
The 11th Massacre.
The 11th Massacre, everybody. Take note of that, because I kind of feel like I'm well versed in San Antonio metal, and I never heard that band before. And I was like, the 11th Massacre. Wow.
But we played some good shows,
good
man.
shows
Nationals,
too.
man.
And you were singing this whole time.
Yes, the whole time, man. And
Singing.
we had a manager too that managed my first band, Enormity, and 11th Massacre, and then the next band.
Wow. And how long did 11th Massacre last?
About a year and a half.
A year and a half.
Yeah,
and then you went to
Years of Red Skies.
Years of Red Skies.
Yep.
You know, today I was jamming the. You guys did 2 releases, right? The self-titled and Oceans.
Yes.
Okay, so the self-titled today, which has 5 songs in it, released in 2009. People look for it. It's called Years of Red Skies. It's self-titled. That record, to me, I really like that record a lot. It sounds good for the time, you know, and the technology in 2009. Good songs. And I was thinking to myself, this is so funny. Listen to this. Today I was thinking, 2009? Why didn't I interview them, you know, or talk to them or know about this record back in 2009? And you know what it was? I retired Rob's in the fall of 2009, and I didn't come back until the summer of 2011. So even when Oceans got released, I was still retired. I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know about Years of Red Skies, and I was thinking, that time was during my retirement. No wonder I don't know anything about them. But yeah, because I'm fairly certain that if I would have heard the self-titled back at that time, I would have interviewed you. That record is
the
great.
Younger me, the thinner me, not the fat ass.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't care. It just sounds great.
Right?
Sounds good, bro. It's a good recording, good songs. Oceans, the recording is a little rough, but you know, for having 3 songs, you know, it's okay. But I think the self-titled really put you on my radar.
And then we had Clifton do a single. Well, we had 2 singles, but we lost one. Mm-hmm. Clifton Miles, I'll give you a shout out, brother.
Clifton Miles,
you did help out here, man.
Be nice to me when I see you, Clifton.
Right. He did help us with a few singles, but we lost one. But the other one was called Believe, which is on iTunes, so you can check that out. But yeah, that was kind of pretty much the end, or not the end, but kind of, you know, the last of Years of Red Skies, like newer music.
Who were those? Were those dudes from Roosevelt area?
Okay, no, they were from Madison, MacArthur.
But that's all still Northeast, though.
Yeah, it's all Northeast.
Northeast side metal.
Yeah,
Northeast side metal. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, was the band all from one area? And it was.
It was Northeast. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
And
that's all good.
Actually, good. I mean, good bands too. Like in high school. So.
Okay. What happened after Years of Red Skies? Obviously, you still wanted to continue to work and be part of the musically as a part of the scene.
After Years of Red Skies, I did things on my own. I did singles. I would work with certain bands like the band's called Triangle Ache, if I'm not mistaken. But they would shoot me songs, and I would do vocals over it. And you know, other bands were like, "Hey, man, if you want to throw your vocals on it, go ahead and do it." So I would do that. So on the side, I was doing that and promoting as well.
Right.
On the side.
Oh, yeah, you had already started promoting.
I was always promoting. It's just I was always busy with.
How soon did you start promoting? Like when
I finally started, 2005.
But were you with Years of Red? That was after Years of Red Skies, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and after Covina, or you were with?
I was still promoting.
I know you didn't say that name, but that, you know, I'm thinking ahead. So you were with Covina for a little bit.
For a little bit, yes, yeah.
Okay.
And you know,
and correct me if I'm wrong. Did Covina have 2 singers?
Yes.
And you were one of them.
Yes.
You know,
sir.
I think that was the first time. And it was at the White Rabbit that I had ever seen you. And I saw Covina. And I saw the two singers. And you were one of them. Yeah. So I was able to see the band. And it was pretty heavy stuff. You know?
I remember sending you stuff too.
Yeah, probably so, man. And I'm sure I have a fucking demo in that fucking armoire there. How long was your tenure with Covina? How long did that happen?
This was... Let's see,
because, correct me if I'm wrong, even after you left, they kind of continued as a band?
They still continue, yes.
But with one singer, right?
With one singer, okay. Yes. Yeah.
So how long were you with them?
About 2.5 years.
Well, that's a pretty significant amount of time.
Hey, let's put it this way. I'm the one that started the band.
Oh, okay.
I'm the one that made the band. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Things happen, lesson learned.
Yeah.
And I'm here and they're not, so it's one of those.
You know
what I mean?
That's a part of it. You know, we as much as we talk about relationships, you know, they're not all perfect and good. You know, and sometimes, you know, especially when you're coming up, there's lessons learned, right? Mm-hmm. There's lessons learned.
Oh yeah.
Because people, I remember this was just like 2 days ago. I was on Facebook, and I saw a headline about Mark Tremonti from Creed. Mm-hmm. And Mark Tremonti, the headline was, "I made so many mistakes when we were a younger band that really cost us a lot of pain." So I was like, And so I clicked the article and I read it, and he was talking about, you know, a lot of relationships, and that when they got in the industry and started getting big, that people would lie to them, deceive them, you know, pretend that they were friends when they were really just trying to use them. And eventually, you know.
And that's where the lesson was learned from them. You know,
and I'm going to say this, I don't give a fuck. We were talking about it earlier, and we talked about Marcos from Shattered Sun and his statement that he put on Facebook a few days ago, kind of highlighting the same thing that we're talking about.
Exactly.
The deception in the scene.
Well, because he wrote that on Facebook, man. I wrote something kind of similar. Like, dude,
I read your post. Like, I got you.
I
you
was
know,
like,
good.
dude, I understand.
I've been there.
I know how it is. But like I said, where we at, where are they at? And you said that before. I remember an interview you had with Snakefather.
Yeah.
You had to one of the guys like, hey, man, where are they? Where are you at now? You're here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Shout out to Josh from Meridian, too, man. He was a part of that band. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah. Got fucked, too. Yeah. But you know what, man? Again, we're here.
He showed up. Him and Freeman showed up to the barbecue.
Yeah.
And
Yes, yeah.
And when they got here, when they got to the barbecue, they were fucking already fried, bro. Yeah. They were already fucking fried out.
Man, that's how they are, man.
That's how they roll. I get it. That's what I love Freeman about. You. They're crazy. So when you started promoting shows, who taught you how to do it? Did you have a mentor?
I did, actually. I had my boy Mikey T from MT Productions. And
Wait. Say that again?
Mikey T.
Mikey T.
Of MT Productions.
Little
short Mexican.
I know who he is. Didn't he do some tour managing too?
He did. With Jägermeister, he did some, you know.
Yes. I remember him, bro. And he and I used to be tight. And his wife was always around with him when I would see him at Bonds or wherever. Whatever happened to that dude? He just kind of disappeared.
No, he's just doing his own thing, man. He actually kind of helped out when we did the UABB show, the Chankla Fest.
One of the things I always loved about that dude is that he did his own thing, but what I saw is that he was always elevating himself. Mm-hmm. He started out locally and then started doing national shit.
Big shit, yeah.
Big shit, yeah.
Big shit, dude.
And I was like, wow. Every one time I can't remember. I went to go interview somebody. I think it was at the Sunset Station, and he was the tour manager of the band. I can't even remember who it was, but yeah, he was doing big things, and that's cool. That's cool.
That was one mentor.
He was your mentor.
Yeah, one of them, and then Jen Holt from Twins.
Jen Holt. Oh man, I don't. You know, I'm gonna before I retire, I'm gonna interview Jen Holt.
That's gotta happen. That's gotta happen. Seriously, that's gotta happen. Yeah.
I gotta interview you, Jen, before I retire. And yeah, I've known Jen Holt too, and she total pro.
Amazing, yes.
And she understands about relationships. Mm-hmm. She understands it, and you know, oh man, I know it's the story about her and the White Rabbit, and I'm not gonna get into that right now. Yeah. But I know that story, and when I talk to her, we're gonna talk about that because she should have inherited the White Rabbit and made it more legendary than it is. Okay, so how, when you started promoting, you came up with the name JC Productions?
Yeah, just simple. You know, this quick. You know, we're working with Mikey T, MT Productions. I was like, you know what, JC Productions, just simple.
Yeah.
Go from there, man.
Yeah. And how did you get RT involved in JC Productions?
Well, me and Roland Torres, RT Productions. We were in a band. Oh, I was in a band. He was in a band called In God We. And we would just jam.
I never knew he was a musician.
Yeah, he's a drummer, bro. A drummer. Wow. Probably, honestly, bro, to me, a top drummer in San Antonio, man. Wow. That man is great.
Wow.
And
I never knew that about him.
We worked with MT Productions. That was our manager, pretty much. And we would book shows together. Yeah. And from there, built a great relationship, man. Like, good friend, best with friend,
RT.
Actually. Yes, with RT. Like,
and honestly, so when you said let's do our own thing, you're like, let's do it together.
When I got him more involved later on, I was like, hey man, like I'm really pushing this promoting thing. Would you want to be my side guy? Like, help me out, bro. I need you. Yeah. You have connections. I have connections. Let's put it together. Let's do it. Yeah. And he was like, I'm all for it. So from there, that's when then we kind of connected to JC and RT Productions, you know. And the logo that we have is made by Danny from Burning Body.
Yeah, I remember when you upgraded it. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, it's cool.
So grateful.
That's a great logo.
Yeah, man. I was like, dude,
that's a great
Danny
logo.
Was like, I got you, and he made the logo, and we went from there, man.
How do all these fucking dudes know how to do like graphic design?
Right.
Like badass. How do you learn that? I don't know.
Hey, Danny has time, bro. He had time. He was like, hey, man, I got you. I was like, all right, cool, bro.
Good. So, you know, one of the things I want to emphasize as we continue to, as we get into the promoting side, is like you were a musician, and that was one of the things that kind of helped justify this interview. Is like he was a musician in our scene, you know. So there was Enormity, 11th Massacre, Years of Red Skies, then Covina, and then you stopped. Why did you stop?
Well, I did have another band. They were called Horizons on Fire, but that kind of was one of those, you know, members were kind of back and forth. We came out with 2 singles. They were playing on the radio. They were, you know, played pretty much around Texas.
Yeah.
Good, you know, singles. We even got asked to be on big shows, but member-wise. After that, it was just more like, you know what, man? Let me just focus on the promoting side. Let me help out the locals. Right. Let me help out the locals. Whatever connections I have, let me use that. And let me really help out the scene as much as I can.
Yeah.
So that's where I stopped. I was like, you know what, dude? Let's just go that route.
You know, one of the things I do know is that promoting shows and doing shows is very difficult. It's challenging. There's a lot of moving parts. A lot of personalities, and you know your return. You're at a risk on what your return's going to be for all that work.
Yeah.
So I applaud you, man. That's a lot of effort to support the scene. So when you first started booking shows, where were you booking shows at? Like, where did you start off at?
I first started off, well, you know, working with MT. It was
where did he get you into?
The White Rabbit.
The White Rabbit. Oh yeah, that's kind of bit significant.
Yeah, that's a big venue right there.
He got you into the White Rabbit. That's great. And did he introduce you like to Jen Holt?
Yes,
and all that?
all that. Yeah,
that's great.
That's how all the connection, the friendship happened. Yeah. Because before in high school, man, we did it ourselves, and we did it at the first local disturbance was at a rinky-dink bar on Eisenhower, owned by a family that was only like 30 capacity.
Where at? Or was that?
On Eisenhower. Don't know the name. They're no longer there.
Was that number one?
That was the first one, bro.
What?
Yes, and it was there.
Eisenhower. I would have fucking go to Eisenhower and we get shot.
No, it was on Austin Highway.
Yeah, Austin Highway. I'm going to get killed.
The very first one, it was across from the flea market of Eisenhower.
I love the Eisenhower flea market.
Okay. There was a place across, and it was a bar, and we were going to do it there, but they got shut down, so we went to a place on Austin Highway. Austin Highway. That was only like a 50 cap of people. And we did it there. And luckily, a lot of people that showed up donated money and said, you know what? Get it somewhere bigger. So the second year, 2004, we did LD and we did a VFW. Of course, a friend of mine at that time knew somebody, and we did it across the street at the VFW. Got the money, and dude, it was a packed. It was awesome. A great second annual Local Disturbance. Wow. And then third, same place, VFW. From there, after the third, from fourth and up, it became White Rabbit and other venues.
That was it. So you had kind of graduated to the White Rabbit.
Exactly.
That's great, man. Because the White Rabbit, for so many people in our city, is a significant place. A place where they've had, good times, shows, great experience, great shows. And I think this is the thing. This is the thing that I think people don't talk about. I so wish that the White Rabbit would have continued.
Politics.
Whatever. But the thing is that if it would have continued, the longer a place has a history, the more significant it becomes. And legendary it becomes because of the longevity and all the great experiences. If I'm a 50-year-old man and I remember going to see DRI there when I was 20, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, dude.
And I can still go back to that place, and I can remember, I remember I saw DRI here or fucking Soulfly here, and it was amazing. And so many memories. So how many years now have you been promoting?
It's been about, I would say, 23 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even before actually starting.
Is that more than half your? Is that more than half your life?
About pretty much, man. Yeah.
I'm like asking you how old you are.
Right.
But you know, about half your life.
Still learning. Even learning everything of how to do things, and then meeting people that can actually help. Oh yeah, dude. It's been about 23 years, man. So
throughout all that time, if you had to say, this was my biggest challenge in putting shows together, what would that be? What would be what's your biggest challenge? What did you hate, or what did you dread happening that while you're promoting a show?
Putting a festival together, man. That was probably
why though. Why?
Only because you have to do all the set times, making sure all the bands are comfortable. The venue, making sure the venue's not screwing you with money and money wise, making sure you can take care of the bands. It's a lot, dude. It's a lot. A lot of people think being a promoter,
I said, a lot of moving parts, right?
It is, and it's a lot of business. It's a lot of statistics. Things like that, and it's just it's really a lot, man. It's a lot.
I believe you. I mean, I used to put on shows in the early 2000s.
I know.
I used to go on the Rob's Motor showcases.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing as you. It was just too much for and I never did it for money, so I'm not going to say return, but it was just too much work for one night of greatness.
And see,
it was too much work.
And see, with me, what I like about it, though, bro, is it's a lot of work, dude. But what you're doing is you're getting a fan base, and you're building something to where the city, the scene, is building something great. And that's one thing I always look at, man. Yeah, it's hard work, man. But I love it to where it's like you're helping out the scene, man, and you're helping these bands.
Well, that was your avenue. You know, I was doing shows and doing Rob's interviews and stuff, and I was like, I'll stick to the interviews. I think I'm better at the interviews.
I'm just doing interviews.
Yeah.
Just come over here, man. Yeah, we're good. We're doing an interview.
So let me ask you on the flip side, what was the most gratifying moment as a promoter that you've had? What show was your favorite, or what moment was the best for you?
2007, White Rabbit, both stages.
Yeah.
Headliner, Upon a Burning Body, when they were just coming up.
Oh, really?
That show.
Was that Red, White, and Green or before Red, White, and Green?
Way before. They weren't even signed yet, bro. They weren't even signed.
You know, that's one of the things I get angry about is because even at that time, Rob's was around, but I never really paid attention.
And you should have, bro.
And I should have.
You should have.
And I agree.
That time. That's
why I regret it.
Let me tell you something. 2007, man.
Yeah.
This was Local Disturbance, 2007, and I was working with Mikey T.
Right.
And he told me, he goes, "Hey, man, we're going to do something different this year for LD."
Right.
I said, "Okay, what are we doing?" He goes, "It's going to be same genre, because my LDs in the past were different." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, "We're doing,"
and I kind of like that.
He was like, "We're going to do same genre."
Yeah.
2007. I said, "Okay." And he goes, "I already have the bands, I already have the venue, and we're doing it. And the headliner is going to be Upon a Burning Body." I was like, "Okay, let's go." We did it. What sucked is that I got so many messages from past bands of LD, the past LDs, that it was like, dude, why the fuck are we not part of the show? How come we're not on it? You know, what's going on? Like, dude, you've never been like that. Like, it just became a huge, like, what happened, bro? Like, you were always diverse with bands.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, I'm working with another promoter, man. Like, it changed. And, of course, I that part, I got the backlash. But that show, man, packed house, dude. I'm talking like that was...
So the good thing is Mike was right. Packed house. But secondly, too, I think like dudes like your that guy was friends, like,
yeah,
I'm coming. I'm an up and coming promoter. Mike MT is very successful as a promoter and tour manager, and I got to follow his lead. You have to follow his lead because you're learning. You're still learning.
Exactly, but also too, like the. He knew, like you said, he knew.
Yeah.
And it worked out, man.
Yeah. That's good. Okay, so now the big question. Why are you leaving it all behind? As we end out 2024.
I had talked to, I'm going to say it, Chuck Van. I had talked to him about this. Same question kind of. And I remember talking to Erica, my wife, about this. And in high school, this started in 2003, man. High school, bro. I was a sophomore. All right. And I remember when we were promoting the show, Local Disturbance, the first one, we made, I drew out on a paper, the flyer. Like, it wasn't like the way it is now, how professional and all that. It was drawn out. And I remember, we had a few teachers that were cool, and they printed out like 50, 100, copies of it.
Cool.
Anyways, and I remember walking around the high school and putting it on, the doors, all that kind of stuff. Of course, you can't do that in high school, man. If it's not nothing to do with high school or the school, they're going to throw it away. So we got in trouble for that. But I remember just walking in the hallway doing that, and telling myself, you know what, man? If this becomes successful, this festival, if he can reach 20, stop. That's your goal.
20 is a milestone year.
Yeah. So here I am.
Here you are.
20. And I told myself, dude, stop it. And it's actually a perfect time. Honestly, like...
Why do you say that?
Well... age-wise, and knowing maturity, like just knowing, like, dude, you did what you did, and you've I think, done enough for the scene. That's it.
Dude, I'm right there with you. Seriously.
You know? Like...
Seriously, I'm right there with you. Yeah, I mean, there comes a point where, like, yeah, I've done my part.
Exactly.
I've done my part, and it was impactful and significant. And let's just move on with life. There's other things to do than fucking support the fucking San Antonio metal scene.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna survive. You just mentioned the local disturbance, which is kind of like a trademark name for your annual event. This year will be the 20th year. Some of you people have not yet seen the flyer. Go ahead and check it out. Tons of bands, and we're going to talk about it here in a little bit. What other? Don't you have more than that as a namesake event? Aren't there other events that you do?
I've done You Were Not Alone, which was a suicidal prevention show.
Okay, yeah.
We would donate money. All the money, it was a free show.
Right.
And we would donate the money to suicide prevention.
You Are Not Alone.
You Were Not Alone.
Okay, yeah. Is there any others?
That one, and then of course Chingon Fest with Steve from Texas
Cartel. Steve Meadows. Yeah, what's up?
We would do that, help him out, man. And
why don't you ever call me, dude?
Yeah, right. Dude. And,
okay, cool. Yeah. So local disturbance became like the fucking real deal.
That was the
mainstay,
that was
right?
The main one, man.
Why do you think it was the most popular one of the things that you've done?
I think because it was the beginning, bro. That was a start of like actually combining all kinds of bands together, man, all genres, you know.
Yeah.
And from there, it just got popular. And then working with, Mikey T, and then going from there, it just became one of those like, dude, that's the festival.
So there was a point. I mean, obviously, local disturbance was going on for 20 years. There was a point where Mike kind of just phased out, and then you were the man controlling everything. When did that happen? Like the third or fourth one?
That I would say it would happen after Years of Red Skies, like around 2010, 2011.
But what number local disturbance?
2012.
But what number was that? Was that?
I think that was the 10th annual.
Okay, but by the 10th he was done.
Yeah,
and you were taking over it. Yeah, that's cool, man. And as I just mentioned, the 20th annual is going down at the Paper Tiger later this month on the 21st. Oh man. I already told Rick.
Coming quick. It's coming
Rick,
quick,
don't.
bro.
I told Rick, don't fucking party on the 20th because we're going to the Paper Tiger and we're gonna be there like all fucking day, and we're gonna need our energy, and we're gonna take snacks, and we'll take smoke breaks, but we're gonna be there because there's so many
good bands,
fucking killer bands, man. So many fucking killer bands.
And then I don't know if anybody
Fortunes,
knows.
come on.
We have a national.
Who?
Forward.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
They just
Forward.
got signed to Seek and Strike, bro. They just got signed. And I'm like, dude.
I know the guy from Seek and Strike. George, his name's George Valle. But, okay. So, Local Disturbance, the 20th anniversary is going down December 21st at the Paper Tiger. If you are a metal fan or part of the rock scene or metal scene in our city, you better show up at some time of the fucking day. It starts at 1, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Doors at 1, first 40 people in, free. Fortunes. Oh, man, I want to see Fortunes. Cerebral Desecration is always good. Imbalance. Massive Amara. Oh, man. My boys in Left for Dead. Jeez. West Creek's going to be there and throw it down. Shadowhounds, my boy Mike and Shadowhounds. Love those dudes. Okay. 2 bands I'm going to mention that I fucking jam to every fucking day. Powerhouse from here in San Antonio, fucking thrash metal. And the dudes from Austin, Ariel. They are so fucking good, bro.
Good dudes too, man. Good dudes.
Good peeps. And I jam their music all the time. I can't wait to see them. I'm going to be there early. And we're going to take our camera. I'm going to shoot a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'll take my mic. I don't know. We'll have a good time. Maybe you and I will chat again that day.
Chill.
Have a quick one.
Bro.
Nice lineup, though. How difficult was it to get all these people out? Were people all like, this is the last fucking
Honestly,
last disturbance. I want to jam. I want to be on it.
Pretty much, man. That's how it was, man.
Yeah.
But honestly, the hardest thing was getting the times together because
my God,
all the bands are heavy hitters.
So what are they? How are they playing? 20-minute sets?
Well, second stage is 25. Main stage 30. But it's a 15-minute break, so it's still kind of
30 minutes is good.
Yeah,
I love that.
Still have an overlap, man. So it's like you still have people to check out every man.
And even,
not fully, but you're gonna
even
see
if you're not the first 40 to get in for free,
$5, bro.
$5.
You can't beat that, man. You can't beat that, bro. That's why
$5 to get in.
I made it $5 to be old school, and I'm like,
I pay more for that at a beer across the street. Wow.
Well, knowing Paper Tiger, I don't know how much they're gonna sell their beers. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I go into the Paper Tiger fucked up, because I ain't paying $13.
Yeah, like, dude, hold on.
Okay, so this is a very, I think, in my recollection of local disturbances from the past, it's my fucking, when I think about this show, I'm like, it's my kind of conclusion that this is a very special event. Not only because it's your last, but there's also a kind of vibe about it that's like, you got all these fucking cool bands playing, bro. And I'm going to say this on camera too. And you're doing it at the Paper Tiger. I remember we had the discussion about where to do this event.
Yeah.
And my vote, Julian's the man. I'm just the friend. I told him my vote's Paper Tiger. And to have it at the Paper Tiger is to me like made the event fucking took it to a higher level. That's just me because I like that place. It's big and the stage is big and it's legit. So I was so happy when you told me, Rob, we're doing it at the Paper Tiger. And I told you, but you had to make it happen. So
yeah.
Was that cool? Was that difficult or?
Well, I mean, a little difficult, man. We did have one venue, of course.
Yeah.
Some people know where,
Yeah.
But luckily we got a sponsor and they were able to help us out. Like, you know what? It's your last gig. This is your final hoorah. We'll take care of it.
Well, that's cool because that means that people in the Paper Tiger care about the history of our scene.
Mm-hmm. That too.
Right.
Yeah.
If they didn't care about the history of the scene, they would say, we don't give a fuck who you are, Julian Cruz. You got to do this and do that and pay this and pay that. But that's cool.
We got that and, Paper Tiger, was like, we'll accept it and go from there, man. And I'm just so grateful that we're able to end off a festival like Local Disturbance in a good note. And also, for me to just end it all as well, say goodbye. And I did what I did, man. I hope I did a good job, for the scene. So hopefully, this is a good gift to everyone for Christmas. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, we're going to get there. I just know one thing. Mine and Rick's name better be on the fucking guest list. I'm not paying $5 to get in.
You're in, bro. Hey, bro, you're already in, dude. Hey, bro, before you even
Mine
got here,
better be
homie,
on the guest list.
You're already in.
Dude, I'm just joking, bro. I'm just joking. I'm going to pay $5.
It's Rob and 5 other people.
Exactly. Exactly. How many times have I told you? Put me with a +3.
Make it 20.
Oh man, come on. Okay, so the doors open at 1. $5 cover.
40. The first 40.
How many bands? 20?
29.
Crazy. 29 bands. Crod from Victoria is going to be there too. There's some bands I don't know, so I'm going to check out like War Within Dreams. I don't know them.
Oh, dude.
Hourglass.
Rob, you have to.
Into Despair.
Yes,
I don't know those bands.
You have to check them out, bro. War Within Dreams, Hourglass. You have to check them out, bro. You got to.
Have you released the times?
Yes, I have. It's on Facebook. It's on social media.
Tell these people because
Check out social media. All the Facebooks, all the Instagrams, even the bands are promoting it as well.
Yeah.
So make sure you just
But the
go.
set times are on there for both.
Times are on it, yes.
I thought I saw it, and I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna strategically get there. I'm gonna get there fucking early too. I'm gonna go have a good time.
Well, let me know so I can get some food, Papa.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there early. I'll let you know.
You're hungry. You and
I'll
the
let
crew,
you know.
man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It'll be me and Rick and JB. JB will be there. JB's gonna take photos and everything.
Good deal, man. Hell yeah.
Okay, so let's continue. One of the things that I've kind of always admired about you, Julian, even before like we became friends, was that you were doing your thing. You had a strong passion for what you were doing, and you were successful at it. People were coming to your shows. The musicians love working with you. It was all good, man. Like positive vibe. And that's what I like to see. But you couldn't leave music behind, could you?
Don't.
I remember when I saw the video for The Blade. Video video that came out in 2022.
Yeah.
You did a duet with Alex from Cauterize. It was the cover of The Blade, which is a Kill Switch song.
Yeah. Scion.
Okay.
It's with the singer.
Yeah. And Howard Jones.
Yes.
And I was like blown away. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking cool. And I never, because I wasn't around in 2009 and 10 when you were doing Years of Skies, I'm like, I didn't really know how badass of a singer you were. I was like, fuck, this is cool. And you had already long retired from doing music. So, but you were doing this video and single. So there's still a part of you that enjoys that.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it about that you just can't leave?
The emotion, man. I guess that's my therapy, bro.
Yeah.
As a vocalist, I think all other vocalists out there would understand. Like, dude, if you're going through something, man, you write it down, and if you have the right music behind it, you're gonna let it out. And I feel that's how I cope with things. I guess you could say with life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you just let it out, man.
Yeah.
So.
And I remember too, I've been at shows or heard about it where there's bands that are playing and sometimes you go up and sing with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what are those? What are those bands? Name some of those bands.
I think Cauterize was one.
Yeah, you done Cauterize. I remember one time I was at a Bond show and
Upon the Burning Body, I did one song.
It was your show. You were there, and I remember chatting with you that night. And then I was watching the band, and the band was like, "All right, Julian Cruz, where are you? Come on up stage with us." And everybody was like, "Where's Julian?"
I was like, "Oh shit,
he's fucking probably in the shitter somewhere." And you never, they ever kept calling Julian Cruz, "Where are you?" And they kept calling you, bro. You didn't come up. You were somewhere. And the band said, "Okay, let's continue." And they kept on singing, but they wanted you to go up and sing a song.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. And we're going to share some enticing news here. You've mentioned Danny from Upon a Burning Body or Upon a Burning Body. I love Upon a Burning Body. I love those dudes. They've made a name for themselves in our city. Many great records. Sometimes I get a little bitter because I wish the old Upon a Burning would have stayed together. But, we all know that things change. And I've accepted that already. But they still continue. I remember I did an interview not too long ago, and someone was talking like, "Oh, Upon a Burning Body is a new band." I'm like, "No, dude, they're old school now.
Yeah,
they've had a 20-year career already. They're been signed.
They're still killing it though.
Yeah, they're still killing it. Yeah, they're still doing well. I saw them at the big Texas Metal Fest in Austin.
Yeah, blew it away, man. I know. Great performance.
They were
bro.
fucking Danny's
great performance.
Danny's a master now, bro. And the only thing,
Danny's always.
The second thing I remember from Danny coming out and fucking blowing people's faces off was that there was a big pit during Upon a Burning Body, and they were kicking up all this fucking dust. And all the dust got on my fucking camera. I remember I walked away back to our little setup, and my camera was full of dust, bro.
Oh.
I was like, what the fuck, man? Yeah, I was pissed off. But anyway, it's all metal. So, were we remiss to say that you're going to be doing a new song with Danny?
That's actually in the works, man.
Is it a song with Upon a Burning Body?
It's just with Danny.
Oh, just with Danny.
Just with Danny. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to clarify. The music, where's the music from?
The music is from Jonah Hernandez, bro. He's the singer of Grieved.
I know that dude. Yeah. I mean, I've seen that dude.
And great guy, man. He's been doing a lot of singles, like helping out. And other bands.
He wrote the music for this track.
He wrote the music, yes, everything.
Shut the fuck.
He wrote the music, and
who produced it? He produced it.
Everything, bro.
And Danny was cool with that.
Well, okay, hold on. So we had one song written by Jonah. It was heavy. I already had the lyrics. Everything was done. Yeah. Everything was down. Yeah. But, of course, at that time, it was more anger at my time. And I showed Danny. Danny was like, I don't know. I'll do it, man. Just a little bit, too extreme. Understandable. Mm-hmm. But now times have changed. And I hit up Jonah like, hey, man, I still have the song. Haven't used it yet. But can you write me another song, dude? And, of course, we talked, back and forth.
How old is that dude, Jonah? Do you know?
I want to say he's maybe, I don't know. Jonah, I'm sorry, bro. Maybe late 20s?
Late 20s?
Maybe. I could be wrong. He looks young. I don't know.
Well, Jonah, if you're watching this tonight, Grieved has never sent me a fucking track, never sent me a fucking demo, never sent me an EP. So I've never talked about Grieved because I don't know anything about Grieved. So Jonah sent me some shit.
So we I asked him, and he was like, "Yeah, I got you, bro." And I told him at the time how I was feeling. Again, being a vocalist, man, being emotional and whatnot. I just said, "Hey, man, give me something. What I'm going through at this time. Can you write that?" He sent me the music. And I was like, you know what, bro? This is pretty much how, because Danny is in a whole different state, man, mentality-wise. Positive, great guy. Like, just, I love it, man. I love it. I wish I can be that state like Danny. You know what I'm saying?
He's in a good place.
He
stopped drinking. Bro. He's a family man. He loves his kids. Yeah,
but he still writes great music. Good. So with this song, I was like, dude, I told Danny, hey man, I have a different song, different style. I want you to be a part of it. Like, let me know. And he was like, I'm for it. Just, let me know when you're done or whatever. And I'm like, okay, we'll do it. Hopefully by next year, man, we'll put this single out, dude.
So Jonah wrote the music and you and Danny are singing on it. When will this single come out?
I'm hoping by next year, man. I don't want to say when, but it will happen.
In 2025.
In 2025, it will happen.
Great. Be sure to tell Jonah to send me a copy before it comes out so I can promote it.
Definitely.
I'd love to hear it. I'm sure it's going to be killer. Wow.
Very emotional. That's all I'm going to say, man.
So the tracks you've already recorded. It's done.
No, I haven't recorded yet. No,
okay.
No. We have the music.
Yeah.
And right
but
now,
you haven't recorded
I'm
yet. And
right
you're going to record
lyrics.
with Jonah?
No, we'll probably go with somebody else. We'll probably go with another studio or, but he's the one that wrote the music.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And then someone will record your vocals.
Yeah, and all that.
Okay, I got it. So. All right. Man, can't wait to fucking hear that. And that should propel your legacy into 2025. Definitely probably sounds like one of probably the biggest tracks you recorded in your career.
That's honestly, yeah.
With Danny. That's cool.
Honestly,
that's cool.
Yeah. I worked with Danny before, and I think, this will be like finally like, dude.
Again, just a testament and a reflection of the respect and love that people have for you and that people want to work with you.
I'm so grateful, man. Honestly,
I mean, I'm sure Danny gets requests like that all the time from people who want to record it. Yeah. And he says no. He says no. So for him to say yes to you, that was cool. But again, you have that relationship. Okay, JC. As we get near the end of this interview, we have to talk about the San Antonio scene. And as we've been discussing, we are part of the history of it, and we know what's been happening in it. I kind of want to talk about. I want your feedback on what's been happening in the scene since 2020. So, like in the 2020s, and we're about to be in 2025. So, what do you see happening with regards first to the culture of this SA scene? Okay, and then secondly, with regards to the talent, the bands in our scene.
I would say, like, happening in 2020, I mean, of course, it happened, COVID, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that really put back a lot of bands and promoters, but it also kind of changed a lot, between, how bands are with other bands, promoters, and other promoters. It was a back and forth situation,
So are you saying there's like a lack of brotherhood?
Yeah. That's not, I would say, at least a good 10% of that happening in the scene. I mean, you have your bad apples, understandable. But other than that, man, I mean, it's progressed to where everybody is supporting everybody. Bands, promoters. And we're actually coming together and understanding, like, dude, we need to make this scene big, and we need to just make it stronger. And I see that. But like I said, you have those bad apples, and you're like, dude, come on, back off, But it's
are these
it's been
people?
good,
Are some of these bad apples? Are they from the San Antonio scene?
They are from the scene. Yes, they are.
Yeah, there's some people, I just think there's some people who don't understand that the San Antonio scene, metal scene, wherever it may be in our city, is a community. It's a brotherhood. It's like,
Exactly, dude.
There's not a lot of us, and you know what? Nobody's getting rich doing this. Nobody's trying to get rich doing this.
Bro.
People just want to survive, and people want to contribute to the scene because they love the music, and some people just don't fucking get that.
Exactly. And it sucks, man, to have those kind of people, because you're like, dude, I'm really helping out these bands.
Yeah.
But yet some of the bands are getting brainwashed to where it's like, no, we stay with this person. It's like, bro, you stay there, you're not going to get nowhere, bro.
Right.
You're just going to be a bar band. That's all you're going to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to get noticed.
A lot of these young bands that we see coming out and are good bands, they don't understand the back end component of being a successful band. Mm-hmm. It's not just about, playing killer shows and writing good songs. You also have to fucking know how to work the back end.
Exactly.
And promote and build relationships and stuff like that. And, that'll come with time. Some people learn the hard way. Some people learn from other people's mistakes. What about the closing of bonds? How did you feel about that?
Oh, dude, that's honestly, man, so sad, bro. I love John so much, man. I love the family there. Like, It's just one of those, like, dude, that is really a hard hit. When White Rabbit closed or got taken over,
yeah.
I mean, this is
just
worse.
As significant, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, dude, it was a staple of San Antonio and Texas, bro.
For so many years.
Like, the bar is just, I had so many memories, man. So many good memories. Even with you, dude, taking shots and, hanging out, seeing good bands, and also not just locally, but nationally.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, man, it really is a hard hit, bro. That's a hard hit.
Yeah. I'm kind of sad too. Rob's has done a lot of work in that club over the years, and it's gonna be unfortunate, but things always
hotel,
change.
Right?
Yeah, they're gonna build
Oh
hotels.
my God, dude.
But things always change. And people come and go, and things come and go, and there's always something coming. So we'll find our new spot, and we'll continue for at least for a while. Speaking for us,
Yeah.
all you little kids out there can continue to go to all the shows. On November the 9th, we had the Rob's Metalworks Barbecue #2 in honor of Julian Cruz and his career. And what a fucking night it was.
It was, man. It really was.
It was. I didn't really kind of know what to expect, but it just turned out amazing. Everybody came out. Everybody was drinking, socializing, smoking weed, drinking, eating tacos. Every time I saw you as we crossed paths that day or that night, you were always fully engaged in some conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
You were talking to a lot of people that night. And of course, rightfully so. Everybody was hey, tonight's for Julian Cruz.
Yeah.
So it was cool, man. Did you tell us, share a little bit about your thoughts on that evening and any significant conversations that you may have had with people or any themes that you may have connected with that evening?
I mean, one, man, just the fact that we can do something like that here with you, man.
Yeah.
Rob, honestly, Rob, I love you, man. Thank you so much, bro. Just being the hospitality for that event, that really means a lot, dude. And talking to individuals from bands, letting me know how they felt.
You took a lot of pictures with people too?
Yeah, man.
People wanted to take pictures with you.
Yeah. And, it was a very humble, very grateful event, man, of just knowing, I actually did something, man.
Yeah. Of course you did something.
And, sorry to get emotional, but I love all the bands I work with, man, all the people.
What greater gift is there than to give the opportunity to someone to express? And when you give a band a show, hey, you can come play my show or play at my event, how grateful can they be? Because they're you're giving me an opportunity for me to express my music at this show. That's a great gift. Yeah, dude.
And that's one thing.
Did you eat any tacos that night?
Oh, hell yeah, I did, bro.
We went.
Dude.
We went through over 100 tortillas.
Yo, hey, dude, and what happened? We ran out of coal and gas. I was the fucking lighter fluid. I'm like, bro,
dude, we've been cooking all fucking day since 2:30. 2:30, yeah.
Oh man. Dude.
Good time.
Hey, it was a good night, bro.
Good night,
man.
And you got your autograph poster, so you're gonna hang that somewhere. Tell Erica we're gonna put it in the living room by the TV.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's gonna be there, man.
The barbecue was a great event, and who's to say we can still have another one.
Another one, yeah.
It could be just.
Hey, if you're down, bro,
I'm down.
Let's do it, man.
I don't know. We need to wait 4 years.
Newer bands.
Newer bands. And, new
New,
relationships.
fresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the old school. Always with the old school.
Now, I want to ask you something, and I might edit this out. I don't know. Remember, there was a few years ago, you had made an announcement that you were kind of retiring JC and were going to become part of Chankla Productions. And I remember you had never talked to me about it at all prior to your announcement. I just read it like everybody else. So I was kind of shocked. I was like, what? And if you would have talked to me before you made that announcement, I would have said, no, don't do that. Because you've worked so hard in building your brand and who you are. but obviously, you know, Chankla is widely known, and it's important to note, not necessarily in our rock and metal circles, but more widely known to the general public. So I kind of said, yeah, you know, I kind of get it. You know, JC wants to move up and do bigger things and promote bigger events. And just like with MT, like, you know, he's getting an opportunity here to learn new things. And I remember I went to what number Chankla was that?
The first one.
The
very
first one,
dude.
Remember,
very
Rick, we went?
First one, yep.
We went and had a good old time, saw Scum there. And
great event. It was
great.
A great event. I will not lie about
RT
that.
was there working?
Yes, me and him were both working both
RT
stages,
was
man.
working.
Rolling.
So afterwards, you know, sometime afterwards, I was surprised to hear that you were like, I'm done with Chankla. I'm out of Chankla. I'm not associated with Chankla from this point forward, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, JC Productions is back. So just quickly, I mean, I don't need to get all the dirt, and the people don't need all the dirt, but just...
I think they already know.
What was the if you can surmise what happened in the dissolution of that relationship, share that.
You know, real quick, let's make it quick. Again, I'm very big-hearted, man. I really will give you chances. And with this guy being a social media TikTok influencer, I mean, he spoke the way he spoke. He said the things that you want to hear, and it got me to where I'm like, dude, you really care about our community. Like, you really care about our scene. Like, you really care about us. And again, that was my fault of listening to somebody that just tells you what you want to hear and then backstab you, you know? So the first Chankla Academy was a success. It was great. I'm not gonna lie, great. Shows were good. The show was good. We had a Behind a Burning Body, man. Everything was great. But then after that, it just became, I mean, on his side, a big issue, and us getting involved. It was like, whoa, what's going on, man? That's something totally different. But just knowing that this individual didn't really care for the scene, all he cared about was himself
and making money.
On the,
so, and like, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I don't mean to throw this out, but like when you, after you had become affiliated with Chankla, and then you were kind of still doing JC stuff. He wanted some of the JC. He wanted to be part of the he wanted to own a little bit of JC.
So the affiliation where it was going to become JC to his production, Chankla production. Yeah. His mindset was, whatever you do at shows, I get a part of that. I make the money. And it was like, whoa.
And he didn't do any of the work.
And it was like, wait a minute. Hold on, dude. That's not how that works, bro.
It's like, you know, when I think about it, it's like that's kind of like a manager type of relationship.
But even that, you don't know what's going on music-wise. Right. You don't understand.
Right.
But his thing was like, okay,
it was just all business.
Use a name, and I take a portion of any shows you book. And that's where I was like, no, man, I got to take care of my bands. I got to take care of the venue. Like, dude, this isn't how it works, bro. And that's where the separation came, where I was like, nah, dude.
Yeah,
I can't do that, bro.
Yeah,
like that's totally. You're not fucking Disney, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not.
I heard that that the second Chankla did not go over well.
Oh yeah, dude.
I heard from some bands who were like, man, it was a fucking mess.
Messages Monday morning from bands, and it was like, dude, what? And they were like, bro, you were right, and I'm like, dude. I'm not saying I'm always right, but it's like, if I know you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit, dog. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it just, it worked. It just, played out to where it was like, dude, no, man.
I heard some bands were telling me that it was
just a waste, bro.
It was a fucking.
It was stupid.
Dummy. Yeah. All right. Well, now you're not with Chankla and JC. You continue with the JC. Now you're gonna retire. Your final show will be Local Disturbance on the 21st at the Paper Tiger. But did I hear you were doing a sponsorship next year?
Doing a sponsorship for a second stage at it's Guadalupe. Never heard this little venue area.
Yeah.
But you could look it up, man. It's a very emo Valentine, which is on February 1st of next year. It's gonna feature Emery. I Set My Friends on Fire. Also, they added a band called Seosin. I mean, these bands are national amazing bands, and we're sponsoring the second stage. So
they contacted you and said, Julian Cruz, and you couldn't say no. You couldn't say, I'm retired.
No. I was like, you know what? I'll take it. I'll do it,
man.
I'll do it, brother. But it's gonna be good, man, and I'm grateful, man. I really am. Like it's been awesome.
That's cool. Man. I know that's kind of like a big show.
That is. It's a big
show. Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. And if that's your last hurrah out in the public domain, then so be it. But I have to say, as I reflected on my relationship, as I got prepared today, and reflected on our relationship and your resume. I was taken aback. I was like, man, I'm so happy that I'm going to do this interview with Julian so that, he has an opportunity to share all of his thoughts and experiences being a part of the scene for so many years. Because, for people like us, what we do is a fucking, passion. It's our love. That's why we do it. We sacrifice. And there comes a point where, I can't recall if you said this on or off camera, but there comes a point where you're like, yeah, I've done my part. I've done enough. And, it's time to move on. And I always talk about my retirement, and I'm getting there too. I'm like, that's how I feel, bro. Yeah, se acabó. And it's okay. It's okay. We can both walk away happy, content, knowing that we contributed and made a difference, in bands' lives, in music fans, and, being a part of the scene. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
All right, my man. Thank you so much.
Rob,
Julian
thank
Cruz.
you, bro. No, thank you, bro. Always, dude.
Thank you so much. Is there anything I missed? Anything that I should have talked about?
The fact that I love you?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, bro.
All right.
No, man. We're good, Baba.
There's going to be people all over our city and state and country who are going to watch this interview. And, people outside of Texas may not know who you are, but I'm glad that we get to share with them what real, tenure is in serving the scene and what real brotherhood is between people in the scene. Because I know, having worked with many musicians outside of our state, that it's not like that in other parts of the country. The music scene is not like that.
It's
yeah.
different.
So, relationships is what it's all about. And I think tonight was a great reflection of that. So
one thing I will say, man, I am so honored, grateful to be the first promoter that you interviewed.
And perhaps the only promoter ever.
Yeah. We'll see, man. Hey, you promoters out there, got to learn,
Yeah.
But it's honestly, Rob, like I'm so grateful, bro.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. I think you'll be the only promoter that will ever be interviewed by Robs. And I've had a lot of people outside of musicianship who want to be interviewed. And sometimes it's guys who have like their little businesses.
Yeah.
And they want to promote their business. And I'm like, dude, that's not what we're about. But anyway, man, thank you so much. You shared a lot. We've had a great night, enjoying some
been fun, man.
Some of our little drinks and talking and stuff. And, if we can do the Rob's retirement show, I'm down. If you want to do a new Rob's barbecue, I'm down.
Let me know, bro.
We always kind of know when it's about that time,
just
right?
let me know, bro. I'm here for you, man.
All right, man.
I know.
For you, I know you and I will continue to be friends. Yeah. And so, you're not leaving my life, but you're living public life a little bit. Thank you so much, Julian Cruz. Remember, everyone out there, I hope you enjoyed this conversation tonight. Really talking about the history of metal in our city, and I hope you took the words of the man here to heart, because what he's saying is true and full of integrity, and that's why I love him. Remember, you saw Julian Cruz right here on Rob's MetalWorks.